The enemy will lure you into an ambush by enticing you to use imprecatory fire outside your authority structure. In fact, the demon will gladly take a beating to draw a person out of this protective bulwark. That is, he also utilizes reconnaissance by fire and will try to draw you out of your protective cover.
Yes. If you want to see what retaliation looks like, read Acts chapter 19, the sons of Sceva, and you'll see that they didn't believe in Jesus, and they said, "Hey man, let's go and drive this demon out," just like Paul does, Paul the apostle. Yeah, let's drive this demon out. Sceva was a Jewish chief priest, his 7 sons. They tried to cast out demons in the name of Jesus. They said, "Hey, just do like Paul does. I adjure you by the name of Jesus, whom Paul proclaims." What did the demon say? "Jesus I know, Paul I recognize, but who are you?" That's what retaliation looks like, Eddie. And now you said something else there. I want to just make a comment about imprecatory prayer.
Right.
Imprecatory prayer is a prayer that basically only a priest should be using, or a father, okay, over their children. "I bless you. In the name of Jesus, I drive out this evil spirit from my son, from my daughter, from my wife. I, the father," or a Catholic priest. Lay Catholics get in trouble when they set up these deliverance groups, these charismatic deliverance groups, on Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday night in the parish basement or at Lena's house. And what they do is they start using imprecatory prayers. Everybody says, "Hey, if you go to, Maria's house on Wednesday, she drives out demons." So you take her over, and Maria prays like a priest. "I adjure you." She puts his hands over your kid's head or your husband or something. "I adjure you. I cast out." Eddie, that's how people get in trouble, because the demons recognize this Maria doesn't have authority over this person. That's not her child. That's not her spouse. She's praying like a male Catholic priest that has authority from the church. And
yes,
yeah.
No, I was going to say, look, this is exactly what the books talk about when they say stay in your lane. Because when you're not in your lane, when you're pretending to be somebody else, when you're using other person's prayers, this will get you in spiritual trouble. And just the retaliation doesn't occur immediately. You don't expect all of a sudden to be that doesn't happen. They're going to take their time when it's more inconvenient for you to have that happen in your life. That's why we're telling people to beware of this type of situation.
Yeah, it could happen immediately. It could, like in Acts 19, but it's usually a lag effect. They're going to say, "Okay, this guy just made himself vulnerable. So we're going to take our time and we're going to surgically go after his kids and his wife whenever we feel like it," because they're going to pick their time and place when they're going to retaliate. Exactly. All right, Eddie, continue.
It says, "Baptism does not grant a person authority over all things. Rather, it confers sanctifying grace and the authority over demons within your own authority structure. This structure is where the human and demon interact and determines whether a demon responds. That is, they know and follow the natural law perfectly and must obey when rightly obliged. That is, the demon must follow the legitimate commands made under legitimate authority over a person, place, or thing or object. If power is not exercised within one's authority structure, that is, outside the bounds of the office of one's state of life, that person is vulnerable to demonic retaliation. For this reason, we recommend that if you stay in your lane, you will be protected and more effective in your engagement."
And Eddie, again, this is where Protestant Pentecostals got it wrong. And Catholic charismatics have borrowed the model from Protestant Pentecostals, and they've brought it into the Catholic Church. And I'm not going to mention any names because I know a lot of them. I know a lot of these leaders. I can tell you this, Eddie. Every single person that I know, every Catholic that I know that's practicing deliverance ministry using the charismatic model, making themselves the spiritual healer and guru of the group, and basically proclaiming themselves as the one to drive out demons, every single one of them, Eddie, their marriages are a wreck, or they're divorced, and their kids are a mess. Every single one of them. And Eddie, I know big names in the charismatic renewal. Their family life, their children are an absolute mess because they're stepping outside their lane and they don't even see that they're being retaliated against. They're blind to it.
Jess, these people have assumed a hero position. They're not hero support anymore. They've assumed the position. And think about this, Jess. They've copied an illegitimate model from the Protestants.
Yes.
Why would you, if you're going to copy something they have right, not something they have wrong. That's my point, right?
And they got this one wrong. The Protestants got this one wrong.
Exactly. One is under obligation to perform an act if one is under authority of another. By virtue of the filial piety owed to parents, for example, a parent can oblige a child to do this or that. Mutatis mutandis, parents can bind demons and command them to leave their children. Father Ripperger affirms that a father holds imprecatory authority and has the right to command the demons to leave his children or to stop afflicting them. Demons, he notes, respond to prayers of binding based on the level of authority over an object, place, or person of the person who prays. Yes.
Most men have never heard this in the Catholic Church, what you just said. Most men. And now the guys that are hearing this and their prayers are not effective is because they're in mortal sin. You're shooting ammunition from a dirty weapon. If your soul is dirty, even though you're the father and you have patriarchal authority by natural law, if you're in mortal sin, guess what? Your prayers are ineffective. You're shooting blanks. And so, Eddie, this works when the father is a serious Catholic and he knows he has the authority to start praying in this manner, imprecatory prayers over his children. That father's going to clean up the household. But again, a lot of Catholic fathers are checked out, live in mortal sin, or don't even know that they have an authority that's been given to them by God.